What's up, everybody? Oh, I guess I'm hopping on the live train today. Oh no, I felt like hopping live. I was in Genevieve's live, and then Michael was live or is live, and I was like, I want to join the live bandwagon today. And I want to pull some cards. But it's really dark here. It's actually raining right now, and I was like, ooh, I love this energy. Like, the water coming in is opening up so much flow right now in life into this area. And so I wanted to do a little soul stream and pull some cards and just see where it goes. I have no idea where or what we are doing, but we're just gonna do it. Hello, Green Goddess. Hello. Hi. Hi. Oh, hello. Hi. There's people. Hi. There's humans. There's humans and beings here. Hello, humans and beings. So we're just gonna smudge off the area. Yes, it's raining right now here, and I love it. So we're just gonna do some nice cleansing of the field. Welcome. Welcome. I'm just gonna start pulling cards. I have no idea what we're chatting about, but welcome in. Welcome. It's been we're getting back into a flow. There was you know, I just posted a video about what's going on with retrograde, like what to kind of look forward into. And I just want to make sure that we are reclaiming our sovereignty across all time, space-time, across all dimensions, seen and unseen. Well, no, it's Mercury retrograde's today, I believe. Is today the 26th? I don't know. Sometimes I'm a day ahead. Sometimes I'm a day behind. Sometimes I'm 2 weeks. I don't know. Yeah, I'm in Sedona, Arizona. I'm waiting on my RV to get fixed right now. So it's been one of those things where the RV's been going through a lot. It's like, oh, headway, and then it's like, no headway, and then it's like, yeah, headway. So I ordered a radiator. The radiator came, and the radiator is 1/8 of an inch too thick to fit in the rig. So now we have to modify the radiator. So, and it's raining today. So it's just like, you know, the practice of patience has been a virtue for me in this whole remergence. And so I'm just practicing patience with everything right now, and accepting and allowing, remaining vulnerable, and yeah, I'm going to be doing tarot. Mixture of different things. We're going to just open up to flow. So I want to just thank everyone for coming in. We're just going to open up some sacred space here. So we'll do tarot and light language. Oh, thank you so much, Green Goddess. Thank you. I'm just going to be doing collective pulls. So we're just going to read for the group. Oh, thank you. Yes. So I do a little bit of everything. There's more that's going to be coming through too. I'm waiting for my guitar to get fixed, and there's going to be more music on the channel as well. So yes. Okay. So where are we starting at? I will pull the Lemuria cards. We're going to start with Beyond Lemuria. So I apologize that it's dark. I've got no electricity. So I'm actually plugged into my Jackery right now, which is battery's almost gone. So we're just going to be doing like collective pulls. This is more like a little hangout too. I'm feeling in the mood to socialize a little bit. So we're just going to do a little collective hangout, collective what's up, collective howdy doody. So welcome. Woo. You know, there's so much going on with the unknown, and well, I'm not plugged into anywhere, so I'm actually currently parked on a side street in Sedona while my RV gets repaired. So I don't have access to electricity or water. So I've had to do like little bird baths, but I haven't had a real shower in about a week because hotels here are expensive. Yesterday I tried to look at try to get into the cheapest hotel here, and it was $351, and I was like, nope, don't have it, not gonna do it, not gonna do it. So I'm parked on a side road while my rig gets worked on. So so what wants to come through for everyone in here that we want to talk about? Yeah, there's been a lot of timeline stuff. There's timeline splits, diversions, redirections, right? There's been a lot happening in regards to timeline management, watching the pathways as they unravel. A lot of stuff happening. There's been also a lot of persecution that's been coming through, at least on this end, and what I've been watching in the collective, and it's been interesting trying to find this place of neutrality and divine balance through the different aspects that are coming up for review. A lot of past life stuff that's been clearing. Ooh, air, paradigm shift. So we're working with the Beyond Lemuria deck. And very much so, the energy of air is coming in. We were talking about Dragon Hawks earlier. I was talking to Angelfish about this. But there is definitely a shift in the energetics and a shift and a new wayward motion. And it's really about how we're working with the new energetics and the new flow. Especially as like more of Aquarius comes online. There's really this raw, organic, original authenticity that's really coming out and about right now in my own life. And I'm noticing it with others. And I mentioned it in a video the other day that like sometimes the goals and the dreams that we are pursuing in our life don't really fulfill what we're really truly capable of in this lifetime or even in this now moment. So, you know, without having to get into the projection of what we are to become 2 years, 3 years, 5 lifetimes on the star system of Sirius, right? It's like there's something in regards to divine purpose and allowing who and what we are here to become to organically manifest within the form and to be that within the form here and now. And a lot of that brings up this like, oh no, like I have to sparkle. Oh no, I have to shine. Oh no, I have to stand out. Oh no, I have to, and if that's coming up for people, disregard the narrative that something will happen, external of you that might have this like component or this campaign of fear embedded in it, because we're currently washing away those cycles of, hey, I stand in my magic and I'm persecuted, or like, hey, I become a priestess and I deal with heavy subjugation. Like the amount of cellular clearing in regards to that right now is really, we're having to take a lot of time out, even myself, having to take time out to go, no, like that storyline isn't going to play, that lifetime or that event is not going to occur the way that it did in the past. And a part of me stepping into my knowing, stepping into my knowledge, stepping into my beauty, stepping into my brilliance, stepping into my magic, is because it's needed and necessary right now. Yes, removing the baggage. And so that's a lot of that decluttering. And it's also a part of stabilizing in this new Aquarian energy. And I mentioned this in the video I just posted about from the crystalline messages, is that which you thought you might be doing as a quote unquote light worker or way shower might be different than you expected it to be. And it's where your role gets called into via the higher self, right? Because like we have the oversoul architecture that's constantly working with our evolution of consciousness and to embody fully here and now, filtered through the higher self, and the higher self begins to translate. And so as we are being like pulled into whatever our next calling is, remember, you have the right to say no to it. I've had a few different callings that have popped up here where it's like, oh, you're going to do this. And I was like, no, sorry, someone else will pick that up, right? But it's not on one individual to do what needs to get done. It's a collective effort right now. And a part of this paradigm shift is that we're getting role changes too. And almost I'm hearing role reversals, right? So, there might be a call for you to step back while others step forward. You might have to step up while others want to step back. And it's like really about weaving with the cosmic threading and the cosmic flow of the universe, with how your higher self is directing you. I've also noticing too that there's people that are getting their calls and they think, oh my gosh, something outside of me is controlling me and trying to, and it's like, you know, is controlling me and is trying to keep me in this place. And it's interesting because the divine messages and the divine messengers that come through to assist and to facilitate in your expansion into getting you into what you need to grow and to expand and to evolve and to become your greatest version, what we might view as subjugation is actually, no, not the, it's not subjugation, but it's like that, it's not subjugation, but it's as much as there's a divine messenger that's coming in that's activating a next level of consciousness for you. And I'm hearing the song Carry On My Wayward Son. There'll be peace when you are done, don't you cry no more. Yeah, evolutionary stances in expansion and what we have to walk through to get the hint, right? To get the hint, because it really is about us. It's about us retrieving the wisdom and the lesson from the experience so we can walk forward with more grace and more ease in the knowing, right? And so even right now, if you feel like, because I've noticed this for myself, I'm like, damn, why are things getting how they are, right? Because there's a repair that's occurring, but there's also, be aware that things can shift in the power of you, for the power of you, very quickly. And I feel like that's a part of this paradigm shift that we're coming into, is it's not only like that we are shifting into a new trajectory, of course, Age of Aquarius, all the energies, we're constantly shifting, but like, it's also to state that right now, remember that things can turn and return in your favor very quickly based upon choice, decision, right? And it's also based upon practicality, being resourceful with what you've got. So, yeah, things can shift in your favor very quickly, guys, right now. And so this is that table turning, or that notch that just goes, that clicks right in, because really for us, it's about getting it, right? It's about, right now, it's about getting and understanding what the universe is bringing forward for us in this now moment. So as soon as we get it, we click on, we turn, fractal, the diamond comes on, whoop, new perspective-based reality, right? New hologram, and then all of a sudden we're walking forward into a new venture, a new adventure. Your key is coming in to turn the door open for yourself, but we have to allow what the retrieval of that key is for ourselves. It's a key code, it's a codex, it's a source code, it's an unlocking of a new blueprint, right? It's a new destiny, a new arrival, a new destination, a new, you know, the word pursuit, right? It's interesting because pursuit is still like chasing something, but the new pursuit is actually activated when we embody a new understanding, and then we begin to walk as that understanding. But for us right now, it's about getting that understanding. Things are shifting, the tables are turning, but we also need to be able to integrate and fully embody the frequencies that are happening for us right now, from the great central sun, from Solaris, from Mama Gaia, because Mama Gaia is providing a lot right now. Returning to the heart chakra, returning to the retrieval of the heart and the home within. Baseline foundations of building a home from within is the home without shows up, right? So it's, what is your home within? It's feeling safe in the temple, safe in the form, safe in the heart, but also being to express as the heart, with the heart, being the heart, right? Being that heart chakra, because once we are the heart chakra, right, it expands through our entire body, our entire field, body, mind, presence becomes the heart. And then as we are the heart, we're the walking heart, right? And the walking heart is the illumination of that home for others, right? So right now, with where you're at, if you feel like you're in an uncomfortable place in your reality or an uncomfortable time, you might be that remembrance of home for other people. You're here to awaken pasayarata, home within others, whether it's a certain starseed civilization, a certain timeline, right? You might be there activating the remembrance for others. So it's about really, what is home to you? What is the presence or essence of home within the form? Because the presence and the essence within the form helps us to no matter where we're at, we've got home within, especially if you are a wanderer, right? And this, once again, carry on my wayward sons coming through again and again. It's about walking through with your vision of hope and your vision of home from within. What is your vision of home for self? And how is that expressed through the world? And how do you share that? Because when you are offering the essence of home with the world, you're going to be receiving that again. And what is home to you? Because I feel like that frequency of home is something that gets called a lot, especially when the 3D systems are erupting and we're going through all this stuff. A lot of people go, damn, like, I just want to go home, right? Earth star chakra work right there, right? And that's where we want to really work with grounding into Gaia, getting our feet into the dirt and connecting to our Earth star chakra and connecting to that home frequency within and being able to ground into that place of stability. Because when we think of Higher Self Channel, actually just put out a really good video saying that when there's nowhere else to, when there's nowhere else to go, we go home, right? And so if you feel like you're immovable, right? Or you're in some form of quantum preparation for a new arrival, and so you're kind of in that like energetic lockdown. I mean, there are some people that are still going through quarantine stuff, collectively we've been going through that. It's different here in Arizona. There's a lot more freedom of movement. But as you're like prepping for the next arrival point of your next new, feeling safe within the home and within the form and caring for that self will assist in the retuning that we're going through, because we are in a collective integration through the passageways. And so it's really about that reminders of care of self, love of the form, caring for the form, is going to be really important with the home frequency. Hello, Lori. Hello. I'm going to read the chat. Where's the chat? There it is. Okay. Hi. It's so good to catch me live as well. Hi, Lori. Hello. Welcome in, everybody. We're just kind of free flow. Free flow reading. Hi, soul sister. Hey, soul sister. Okay. Next is the sound of the universe, right? There has been a clarion call. Lately I've been hearing... There we go. We're back. I got a phone call. Hello. Are we back? Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. All right, so sound of the universe. It's definitely the retrograde. That wasn't the retrograde. That was actually just my mom calling to say hi. So, sound of the universe. There's a universal tonality that we can listen to and pay attention to. This is about paying attention to the frequencies that are hitting. There's a new song. There's a new dance. There's a new elevation that's coming, but it requires us to listen to the sound of the universe. That sound of the universe is silence at times, right? So anywhere you might feel like silence is brutal on you, right? We've got so many distractions built into our reality, and I'm going to even take a little taste of my own soup here, is that constantly having distractions, people to talk to, people to listen to, TV in the background, programming, things like that, is that sometimes the sound of the universe or the sound of silence is it's an uncomfortable place to be, right? Because when we are in the silence, we're left with the sound of self. We're left with the sound, and the sound of self, the sound of the chattering mind, the sound of the soul, the sound of the heartbeat is the sound of the universe. So to recognize that not only is this sound of the universe external of you and you are constantly interacting with that, but you are the sound of the universe, right? So what is your tonality? What strings are you plucking and playing in every now moment, right? And we're speaking on frequency bandwidth, we're speaking on energy, but we're also in the fluid motion of creation and the translation of the frequencies that are coming forward. This sound and the tonality of you is not just spoken, right? Because we're speaking of retrograde, but it's also in the form. How are you moving, right? How are you sharing? Sometimes this sharing is just going and sitting with a tree in silence. It's not always like I'm going to get up and communicate and vocalize, but it's also that this sound and the tonality and the song of you is more in the expression. Sometimes it's in the pure silence and pure stillness. Sometimes it's resting in bed and taking care of self. Sometimes it's just being the lighthouse. Sometimes it requires you to not be so hard on yourself. Interesting, because I'm hearing harder. So it's about really that really soft, gentle, swift approach, a softening with self, a care for self, and a nurture for self, because that song brings in peace, right? It's the invitation back to that home frequency, right? And so if you're someone who's very hard on yourself, right? Detrimental, self-sabotaging, this is a subtle reminder from the universe to tell yourself that you're beautiful. And if you are not someone who knows how to say that to yourself, I will remind you right now, you're beautiful, you're strong, you're soft, you're loving, you're kind. And a part of that gentle presence is going to open you up to a new tonality, a new version of you, but it's how you treat self, because how we treat self through repair is how we treat others as well. And so becoming that compassionate witness of self, of you holding yourself in your beautiful nature and your beautiful nurture, right? That nurture and nature quality begins to resonate through the field, and it begins to expand into realms, trajectories, territories, dimensions that you might not even see. Yes, it's the Lemurian deck. I love this Lemurian deck. It really adds this new level of woohoo to life. So, so yes. Hello. So this being present and soft with self, with gentle with self, is going to provide a lot right now, because there's this new version of you for all of us that's coming through right now, right? A new version of us, a new version of self that's coming through. Also, too, is to be mindful that the words that you speak are sacred geometry, right? So are you speaking crystalline truth? Are you speaking the sacred geometrics? Are you speaking the soul tongue, right? Because those waves can be felt, and they also, this is that your words have the power to build universes, right? Elohim coding. Your words have the power to build universes. I'm being called to share a story about overtone singing. So when I was shown and told about overtone singing and my angelic toning when I do it, what's really cool is I was told that there's two tones that are two tones available in overtone singing, right? Through the throat chakra that can be heard. But there's also etheric tones that overlay the actual physical hearing of what I'm singing or toning or chanting or vocalizing. And as a result, those etheric tonings are the crystalline web or the crystalline architecture that weave. And this isn't about, oh, look at me, right? This is about for you to note that your words speak not only at a holographic level that's heard by the form, but there's an etheric rewiring and an etheric writing that occurs through us working with our throat chakra, right? So a part of this is being mindful of the words we use, of the babble, right? Because it has the power to build just as it has the power to dissolve or to deconstruct. And we want to keep building these realities that are beautiful, soft, loving, and kind. And it doesn't mean to just silence your truth, right? But if you're in one of those instances where you need to share or express your truth and you've got some human stuff or some tones that need to clear, setting sacred space, reminding, hey, universe, what I'm sharing right now, it's not in the form of creation. This is authentic expression for me to clear. It's almost setting up like a divine healing chamber around yourself to give yourself the opportunity to share without creating, and also being able to make sure that as you are expressing, right? Like, so if you need to share your raw, authentic version of self, right? The human tonality of you, the pain, the witnessing, whatever, the abuse, right? I'm hearing the abuse. If you need to share those things out loud, share it, and then allow a crystalline overlay of the words to speak in a new building as you're deconstructing that reality from the form. It will help right now. It will help. It will help. Just reading. Yes. Awesome. Nope. What else wants to come through for the collective? From beyond Lemuria. Yes. Yes, we are harmonizing with the new baseline frequency. Yes, we are. Starseer. Stasia. So I was talking about being an oracle earlier. We were talking about it in Genevieve's live stream. Some of you might be awakening to new gifts right now. The ability to see through the veil, to be able to pierce, puncture through realities, to see to the other side, right? You might be doing bridge work. So if you're like, why am I in certain scenarios? Why am I encountering certain people right now? Well, it's because you are a bridge. So part of activating that bridge of consciousness, right, is that as we are that bridge, we are the invitation for others to awaken, to ascend, to become who they are. And sometimes those places that we are, that bridge that we're called to, require us to be in certain circumstances or around certain people that we might not, quote unquote, at a human level favor, right? Like places we might not, quote unquote, want to be. But it's a really important work for this bridge work to be this bridge of consciousness, to awaken and to elevate, to inspire, to uplift, right? Stepping forward with your creative gifts, your creative abilities as your star self, as your indigo self, as your Blu-ray self, as your beautiful self, is because as you are doing that, right, you're puncturing through the veil in other people's realities. You're helping to shift out the illusion, but you're also awakening something within them. You're awakening an archival memory. You're awakening a record, right? And so this is why the true authentic voicing of self, which might sometimes be silent, is because the presence and the beauty of you as the higher self soul awakened within body is that the pulsation of that emanates and radiates throughout the realities that you're interacting with and with the others, right? It's awakening something within them. It's awakening something within them. So this is allowing yourself to be in that radiant beauty, beautiful light, regardless of what the external circumstances are providing for you. Because you are bridging those worlds together for other people. Just shifting some things out. There we go. Good. When we start hearing things in the field, we just gift ourselves an opportunity to push through, to just push play. Just push play. Just push play. All right. How's everyone doing? I feel like taking a break from that for a second. Letting things settle. Kind of got on a little bit of a choo-choo train. Sometimes the choo-choo train needs to stabilize. Aww. I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you. Yes. I love you. It went quiet. Yeah, not so, not so nice people sometimes show up, and that's okay. We still love them anyway. Hello, Denise. Hello, hello, hello. So we're gonna go into some wild unknown. Universe guards. What are we gonna bring through for, what does the collective need to know right now? Aww. Creative inspiration. Throat chakra, Danielle. If you can smudge off your throat, it's gonna help with communication. Definitely. So let me go ahead and get out my, I'm gonna smudge. I'm going to smudge a little bit. Smudgy, smudge, smudge. Timeline jumping. Timeline jumping. Yeah. Timeline jumping in the rain is interesting. Because usually it requires me to go on a hike. But free shower. Right, free shower. Hello. Hi. Howdy. Howdy doody. Yeah, I used to have procrastination syndrome. Sometimes I still do it too. Having procrastination syndrome, so then yeah. So if you want to get some smudgies for your throat chakra, Danielle, there you go. It'll help with the communication and the push through. And see, this is also too, guys, coming back to those distractions right now, is like there's so much that pulls at us from what we need to get done, including myself. There's so much available as a part of freedom, free will, autonomy, you know, well, freedom, and I'll say freedom and free will in this universal plane and universal expression. That's like, oh, I could go do this and I can go do that and I could go do this and I can go do that. And all of those things we built into reality as options for lessons and growth and learning. Sometimes cracking down and getting what we need to get done can be a little bit, it requires perseverance, right? It requires perseverance. And it also means that, like, not everything is going to be an instant reward. And that's one of those things that I see in New Age teachings that's kind of getting obliterated from my reality right now, is to recognize, like, the way showers that I know, right? That have earned their right to, so I don't want to say right, but like, how does this want to come through? That have earned their stability, that have earned their abundance. They put in hard work. They put in a lot of time. It wasn't this, you know, golden spoon, silver spoon, everything was handed to you, right? And so a part of the deconstruction of like that 3D, like, elitist mentality that everything comes easy, right? Especially when it comes to finances and some things, is, yeah, no pain, no gain, right? No pain, no gain. Is that there's a level of appreciation that comes for some of us, right? So here's the thing. Bloodline speaking, bloodline patterning for myself, right? Things should just come really easy. Universal 2x4 knock over the head. No, Corey, you're a starseed. There's a level of appreciation that grows with getting a job well done after working through some very tough, like, emotional stuff, doing things for the collective in different levels and layers of work. And I feel like that's what the masculine energy is coming through with right now, is like this appreciation of not only what others have built for themselves in their crystalline structures, but also offering of a to clearing the there's almost like this, because the word coming through is impulsive creativity, which is fun. I love spontaneous creativity, but there's also this, that once you are, you know, the slow build, it's very much so tortoise in the hare. This energy has been coming through for me a lot, like the energy of the tortoise. Now let's keep in mind that with the tortoise and the hare, the tortoise always wins, right? Aesop's fable, the tortoise always wins. But it's that slow and steady pursuit of your goals that's going to assist, especially when it comes to awakening and ascension, right? Is that, like, when I first woke up, I was like, oh my God, like, I can I can transcend my reality and my environmental structures and my belief systems and what I was built into, so I could get to the top. It was like, okay, I'm going to be the fastest one to get to Mount Everest, right? Because there was that level of, like, competition, and there was also this level of oh, I need to awaken more, so then I get the pat on the back from mom and dad, and that people are finally proud of me, and And once I settled into the fact that once I awaken, you know, once the light turns on, that the rest of my life is going to be evolution and expansion, growth, death and rebirth cycles, and it's going to be all of that, the sooner I, like, settled into just being perfect here and now. And I don't know why that felt like it wanted to come through a little bit for at least someone here in this room, that, like, the pursuit of, and I don't like the word pursuit because it's still that chase, but, like, yeah, so we could say being pursuant of awakening rather than settling into the divine perfection of who you are right now is going to open you up to the fact that this is a lifelong journey. It's not going to be an overnight. And we have moments of acceleration where we sprint, and then we have moments where it's just like integrate and rest, right? And slowing down, is knowing that this journey, this train that we're on of awakening and of ascension, it's lifelong. Like, you can try to shut it down again, try to shut it off, but your soul knows better. And as soon as your soul knows better, you're just walking. You're walking that path every single day. And I feel like, too, what's really cool is there's a lot of limiting, like, there's been, for myself, a lot of new age structures and a lot of, like, limitations that have been dissolving, and now there's something about this pure creative presence and pure creative potential of being here right now and having access to unlimited gifts, strengths, and abilities and qualities from within me to share and to express, that as those new age suffering kind of beliefs and like where they prioritize trauma, overall, is that as soon as I settle into the divine perfection of who I am right now, I allow guilt and shame to melt away, and I can allow myself to just be who I am here and now. And yes, like, so every dimensional bandwidth holds like a certain vibrational quality or tonality to access, right? Which means that certain belief systems can't fit into those realities. And so it will put limitations on access point on what we can reach as far as, vibrational standpoint or frequentially speaking. But the sooner that we allow ourselves to be who we are and we dissolve the judgment, the shame, and the guilt here and now, and begin to prioritize the well-being of self and the well-being of others, we're going to expand way beyond that which you might be able to fully comprehend in this lifetime, right? So there's been a lot of that shifting out. Okay, are we ready to go into the wild unknown? We are. Ready to go into the wild unknown. Into the unknown. Into the unknown. So what do we need to hear? What does the collective need to hear right now? Yeah, gifts of courtesy. Thank you guys for being here. It's been a while since I've gone live, so it's interesting. And everyone was kind of, like Genevieve was in her little oracle, and same with Michael was on he was on his oracular knowing too, and it kind of inspired me to come on and to just kind of flow with the energies and what wanted to come forward and be said. Yeah, 9 of Cups right now. 9 of Cups. Remember what you've achieved from all of your lessons and growth. Okay, so to me, the 9 of Cups always speaks of an initiation that's passed, right? It's always to me spoken of our emotional maturity, right? And resembling that of that, rather than looking at everything that is lost or everything that's going on, it's standing firm in your knowing and everything that you've accomplished in this lifetime. Like, it's like stepping out of the regret and coming into the gifts of the wisdom from the experiences that you've had, right? The growth, the lessons, it's retrieving what the nugget of gold was from all of your experiences, past, present, future, all existing in the now, and remembering your self-worth and self-value. It's kind of that card of self-worth and self-value. And it seems like right now, this is what's going to help us to motivate to step beyond the projections of the collective and all the other, storylines and things that are going on. Is remember who you are. This is, to me, kind of coming through as a level of emotional mastery. Now, 10 of Cups would be the completion, right? The completion of that. So the 9 of Cups definitely is we are 1 cup away, right? And so then the, forgiveness. I'm hearing forgiveness, friend. Hello, forgiveness to you, love to you. Is that there's 1 cup. There's 1 cup that's leading to that 10 of Cups for you. What is that 1 cup for you? What's that 1 cup? What is that Ace of Cups? What is that? Is it an offering, a new beginning? What is that? Oh. What is that for you? Daughter of Wands. It's your infinite level of creations and your infinite level of creative possibilities in this lifetime and in other lifetimes. Okay. So this is really coming back into that level of the infinite creator and dissolving the limitations of the human creations, right? It's stepping into another level of creation. It seems like this next cup for you actually requires some level of stepping into the eternal self and what your infinite creative abilities are. It's remembering your magic. But it's remembering your magic from a place of youthful innocence, because we're speaking of the daughter here, right? And so it's still also gifting yourself the opportunity to know, like, hey, I still have growing to do. I still have evolution to do. It's allowing yourself to be where you're at right now and allowing yourself the gift of evolution, right? It's like a part of that divine perfection and witnessing your divine perfection is also knowing like, hey, like I still got a little bit of growth, because we're at the daughter, right? We're not at the king or the queen of wands, right? And this is kind of like the fool's journey, is like allowing yourself to have some divine innocence, but also gifting yourself the opportunity to know that you still have some expansion to go through as well. But yeah, your infinite creator potential. And it's so much easier said than it is embodied for many of us as we're awakening to this. But sometimes we need that like subtle cue or remembrance of magic, right? And so maybe taking that time to go, yeah, so if I have the ability to shift my reality, what do I want to shift it into, right? Is there someone that I can talk to that really helps to awaken this remembrance from within me? You know, because the thing is that when sometimes there was someone that said it, I forget who said it exactly, a while ago. He said, show me your 5 friends and you show me yourself, right? It's making sure we're surrounding ourselves with people that are helping to instill this remembrance that we are divine magic from within, whatever that might be. Finding that circle or group of people that are like, hey, you are a beautiful being of light, right? It's like those subtle reminders from the universe. And I've told people to do this. It's about love notes from the universe. This might be about for yourself too. A really good thing to do that my universe told me to do. Get some Post-it notes and write love letters to yourself. You know, things like I am magical, I'm beautiful, and post them all around your environment, your place, right? And it's those love notes from the universe are going to be important so if you feel like you've been drowning in the misery of the oceans of other people, hello angelfish, here hugs, it's oh cool, 1111 right there, woohoo, is it's a part of this emotional mastery, is that it's remembering yourself that you do hold more keys, codes of love from within you and more creator potential than you're probably aware of right now, because we're still going through the process of shedding and dissolving all of the old layers of human. I was saying this in LB's live stream earlier. It's sometimes we have to we're here to unfuck the fuckery, right? So as you're unfucking your fuckery and you are transitioning from an old world belief system into a new world belief system, right? And into a well, I don't like the word new world, so let's clear that one out, because that one's still got so much stigma attached to it. As you're arriving into the eternal and effervescent presence of you, right, is knowing that as we're shedding layers, we need those reminders from within that, like, I am magic, that my belief systems do create and shift my reality, right? And that I have an opportunity to create infinite parallel timelines and access infinite amounts of wisdom and knowledge from within, but it's found from within. It's not found from anything outside of you. Now, others can stand as activation points of remembrance, right? We can share codes. Yes, pockets of heaven, I am magi. Is that others, right? When we were talking about those people that remind you of the infinite need and infinite eternal self, is those people can share codes or fractals of self, or that help you to activate this remembrance from within, but it's only from within that it is found. Everything is an activation outside of you, right? And as long as you see it as such, it's going to activate a memory from within. And sometimes those memories aren't so pretty. But as soon as we begin to forgive those lifetimes and share more of that heart-centered love and that balance with self, right? As we're clearing and getting soul pieces back and aspects of ourselves, and we're retrieving fractals of consciousness, the more we allow in that love, the more we soften into what our own future of humanity and future design is, right? Once again, 1111. Jump in, jump out. Jump in, jump out. Oi. There we go. Someone's got some womb work to do. Someone out here, there might be some creative centers, creative blocks that want to get unlocked and retrieved. especially with this Three of Wands, the way it's coming through right now. There might be some deep womb work that needs to happen because there's something illuminating. There's someone outside my door. There's something being illuminated or illuminating from within you right now, and it requires deep care, deep care, deep care, deep care. Some sort of creative project that's coming to the surface, but it's going to require some sacral work. Okay, some sacral work. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was Angel that was talking about earlier, the emotional jumps. I just had an emotional jump and it kind of threw me off. So it was stabilizing and balancing. Funny. So yeah, for some of you right now, there might be some new creative vision, some new spark that wants to come through. As a result, I like that. I always change my passwords to positive messages about myself. That's something I type every day, like 100 times. That's awesome. It's really awesome. Really awesome. Good day, all. Good day. Yeah, Danielle, we can get really bogged down with the 3D stuff we have to do. It's really about how can you weave magic into your... Really quickly, as I break from the reading really quick. And this is for all of us. When we have to go do a lot of different things. Yeah, emotional scare, jump scare. Opportunity to dissolve the trigger. If we've got a lot of mundane things that we need to do throughout the day, what is the practical magic we can weave into that? And that's something that LB talks about, grounded practical magic. Is there's a way that we can begin to enjoy the process a little bit more. So for myself, I used to turn dishes, which if Samantha ever sees us, she's going to laugh. She's like, you doing dishes? I used to love doing dishes sometimes. But even turning dishes into a sacred ceremony, turning all of that mundane 3D stuff into a sacred ceremony, that's practical magic, right? Weaving light into all that you do. I had a teacher, way shower guide. It was Lisa, actually, that was telling me that, like, she's like, so Corey, when you go out traveling, rather than like, oh my gosh, I have to travel, she's like, start fucking throwing, she didn't say fucking, but maybe she did, I don't know. Start tossing magic everywhere you're doing. Start, like, get out the fairy glitter and start, you know, throwing it around everywhere. I feel like we, as turning... us being the alchemists and the magicians, to turn the mundane into magic, that's how we begin to become better acquainted with the 3D reality. So for myself, especially being so much of a starseed, which we all are, right? There's no one that is less than or anything like that. But me being such a starseed, it was like coming out here and being like, man, I'm in this freaking experiment and experience. How do I navigate it? It was one of those things that for myself required a I didn't want to do anything in the world. I just wanted to sit around and pick my nose, right? Especially with, like, you know, all the things that have gone on, coming down into this density, interacting with so much within that density. I don't want to say this density, but that density, because it's past tense now. This density is actually pretty cool to navigate. And these dimensions and vibrations that I'm in, or frequencies that I'm in, are pretty fun at times. Some of them sometimes are really eccentric and weird. But it is what it is. That's how we paint the picture of our reality. It requires to begin to weave magic into all that we do. And that's the golden fleece and the golden thread, right? We pick nose. Yes, exactly. We pick nose. It's being able to weave that magic into all that we're doing and finding what brings out the brilliance from within us, right? Because there are still some things that we have to do, like doing our laundry and cleaning up my rig and quitting smoking. I don't know where that came from. I quit for 2 days and then I picked it back up because I ran out of vape juice. But things that we got to do that might be like, gosh darn, I don't really want to do this because meh. Well, you can, my friend, you can. It's about how we find magic in that experience and weave the magic, because we are the conscious creators that are weaving magic into that experience. So if the experience isn't providing the magic, bring the magic, right? Bring the eternal self, bring the golden light of you into everything that you do and weave that in. And as a result, so sometimes when we walk into scenarios too, we're the magic in that scenario. We're the light in that scenario. And so it might not be lit up and at a, you know, at that foundational level of like what we really want to be a part of, because you're there to inspire. I am live. Hi, Eve. And so it might require, right, coming back to this Three of Wands, this creative, beautiful brilliance of you is that you might be the one that's bringing that shining light forward to help bring others, and so everyone can start to glow up, right? To glow up is to grow up at times for us. To glow up is to grow up. Oh, Son of Cups wanting to show up again. That's that brilliant you. That's that essence of you coming through. That's that the divine innocence coming through for you, right? This is that glow up, right, coming in. And interesting, because this is what wants to be shown right now. This is the light within the chalice. This is the light within you that's coming up and out and being shared. This is the grace of you. This is the peace of you that wants to be shared right now. This is that infinite, eternal, magical aspect of you. This is that emotional mastery, right? The culmination of you in this now moment being unlocked from within, shining up through the chalice and being expressed, because it is a part of a portal or a new reality. So as you embody this version of you, this glow up of you, right? The one that went through all the trials, tribulation, tests, initiations to land in this now moment, to activate that youthful remembrance of the innocence of magic from within you. That's the part of you right now that's building up and coming to the surface, because it's going to blast out and open up a reality. It's essentially saying you are the portal. You're the portal into this new reality that you're calling forward. But it requires us to soften and to relax into the experience and into the expression. Yep, you're the magician. You're the magician, right? This building up and this brewing, this culmination of you across all levels, right? All dimensions, all oversoul parts of you coming into the form, remembering the divine innocent magic of you, building up this light from within, this eternal glow, this spark of creation is what unlocks the portal to remembering that, yeah, you are the magician. You've always been the magician, right? I've talked about this before about initiations. It's here, yes, the manifesta. So I've talked about this before about initiations. Every initiation's the same. And it's like each one has a different pattern or tonality, but it's like you start at point A, you walk through the initiation, you get to point B, and you're like, oh yeah, I was that the entire time. But when you start at point A, you're one aspect or version of you. You walk through the journey, you go through this like alchemical, mixture, breakup, breakdown, breakthrough, all this stuff. And then at B, you're the same you were at A, just more evolved, right? It's like you were always you and are always going to be you in every now moment. There's just a deeper level of knowing. We don't regret the initiation, but as we walk through, we shed layers. But we're back to the original organic version of you. It's just in a little bit more of evolved or having more perspective. So the reason why this message is coming forward is because there is a new level of magic or brilliance or creation or creator consciousness that's coming through. It's the version of you that remembers, hey, I have access to all things and no thing into the oneness perspective right now, and it's going to shine through with this magical creator ability, right? A leopard never changes its spots. LB was just saying this earlier. A leopard never changes its spots, but it's not from the essence of you at the human form. It's you at the eternal form. It's you having that access to do those things. There's nothing you need outside of you, just you. Just you. The pieces of you. Assembling the pieces of you. This is the divine you, because this is, to me, coming up with lots. This is throwing the lots to be like, where am I? It's you as the divine. It's you as the divinator. You as the divination, right? You as the eternal you. Yeah, make a wish, leopard spots, and I'll go for the light. Yes. Thank you, Angel. It's that you are the one that's casting the spell in every now moment. You're the one that's casting the lots. You're the one that's creating. Even for myself with tarot, right? Like the other day I did a reading up near Chimney. And they were like, be mindful, Corey. Your cards create storylines. Don't create old stories here. And it's like, this is that recognizing that, like, even right now, coming onto this channel for divine messages, right? It's like the reminder is, it would be in the old paradigm, it would be like, come to me for messages because I'm the diviner and you aren't. No, you are the diviner, right? You are the divination. You're the magic. I'm just here to help you to remember that. There is no thing that I have that you don't. right? There's just a way that I express in the form to activate that from within you. You actually hold this and have this, right? The keys I hold, you have. There just might be a way that I express it through my form that helps to activate it within you. If anyone or any readings ever telling you like, no, I have more than you, that's bullshit. No, it's that this all exists within you. Everything I'm expressing right now is you. Just awaiting to be remembered and retrieved. Ooh, 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords. There's something that, there's some like grotesque brutality though that's getting in the way of this. This is almost like a self-defeat or self-punishment, right? For whoever this is for, that's getting in the way. There's some level of savagery and self-sabotage and the way you treat yourself. You might be bastardizing yourself or treating yourself as something that you truly aren't. Yeah, I know who's trapped, right? This is that you aren't a monster. You aren't. You're not a monster. There's also something about your perception that wants to shift right now about this. Okay, so you see how the eyes are here? It's like old eyes can't see new realities. It requires the new eyes, as within, so without. So there's something about sight or perception that wants to come through, that wants to shift. But it requires us to dissolve the old seeing and step into a new seeing, new sight. But the new sight is found from within. That's the only way we can see. Because the oracle, the oracular knowing is all about sight. It's all about sight. Perception, perspective shift to within. So without begins the reality to catch up to that. To that knowing. Yep, you're loved just because you're you, Mr. Rogers. There's some sort of, right now, something that we're being called to detach from. To go within the chrysalis and to recrystallize or transform. There's a level of detachment that needs to be had right now, and it feels like it's a detachment from an old way of seeing. And there's this death and rebirth that we need to settle into. This to me, so when it comes to the 8 of Swords in this card, it's always that this is a really divinely protected place of the chrysalis from within. Because this divination, the activation of magic from within you, you divining, which is you are the orchestrator of the divine as the divine, with the divine being the divine, it requires this old skin to be shed, to detach from those old systems, those old ways of being, because it's time to go within into the chrysalis. So especially as we're in this retrograde patterning, right, there's some sort of flourishing expansion that comes from the other side. But there's a death and rebirth that wants to happen right now. And it's interesting, 958. 958. There's almost a little bit of a regressive pattern that's occurring, right? Like from 9 to 8, I would see this as we're kind of going back. This might be going into, if we were to pull out the Yggdrasil tree, this might be like you might feel like you're going backward right now, right? You might feel like you're taking steps backward. Well, it's because the arrow is being pulled back because you're about to be rocketed forward into a new dimension, right? So the pullback or the rubber band kind of pulling back right now is because you're about to snap into a new version of you. But there's something about that snap that's requiring us to snap out of the illusion, right? So collectively, if we go through that pull and that twist, right? If we were to say pull and twist, is this pull and this twist is creating the infinite version of you to snap back into the wholeness and the oneness. Yeah, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But it's because we're not working linear. We're going quantum. Quantum circular. Rotation, spin, vibration. It requires a new spin. A new spin. Also, too, is like the needle might jump because on the turntable, you might be going through a little bit of a wicked wop, like the DJ, right? If you were to take a record and start scratching the record, right? There might be something looping. And as a result, this is helping to pull back, twist, because we're breaking through some sort of timeline or some sort of echo that keeps reverberating out. It's a storyline of self that needs to be diminished. It's a storyline. Because we've been working a lot with the echo stuff here. There's been a lot of like, yeah, serpentine belt, no more fan belt. I got a fan belt. My RV's got a fan belt. Ooh, the Lover's card. Ooh, boy. Yeah, but this is not coming through as like, unless you want to take it as twin flame romance and we're going to be happily ever after. This is about self-love. This is coming through as self-love. And if you want to take flight, into your new home, new pathway, new trajectory, it requires the snapback. This is the pullback and the twist. Once again, the pullback and the twist is because you're about to take flight. You want to fly. You want to fly. You want to take flight. But it does require this dissolve so you can spin faster. It's a physical body's purification, which is going to accelerate your spin rate of your cellular body to activate more. Your Merkaba is going to spin faster. Your toroidal field is going to expand higher. You're going to be shifting up into the higher trajectories. You want to fly? You need to go through that death and rebirth cycle. You need to. You need to. It's a requirement of expansion. That which you are calling forward requires that. You want to stand in your truth, right? You want to be able to sit firmly on your truth. What is your truth? What is your universal truth? Who are you? Who are you? And not who are you around your mom? Who are you around your dad? Who are you around your dead? Interesting. Angel knows. Not who are you in the public eye and in the public opinion, but who are you? Not who are you as a result of the justice system and who are you as a result of greed and filth and manipulation, but like, who are you? And that's even a question for myself. Who am I? Especially as I'm evolving and transforming, right? Some days I'm just silly putty. But if you're silly putty, okay, so if you're the formless still coming into the form of expression, who's giving you form? Who's molding you? We're getting a little real here, but like, who's forming you? Thank you, Gumby. Very much so. Who's forming you? But who's twisting your arm to become that which you want to? Are you shifting and transforming because you want to, or because someone else is saying you need to shift and transform? A little bit of Heyoka work. Choice point, though. Choice point. Two of Swords. It's unblocking the light of you. This is unblocking. What's blocking your light from shining fully? Right? Because this is heart chakra, soul light, eclipse choice. Thank you. Thank you. Right? Who's eclipsing your reality? And why are you allowing that eclipse to occur? And you know, it happens. Our light pulsates and it turns on and off. It doesn't mean no one or no thing outside of us is doing that, right? It's just a part of how we expand, we collapse. We expand, we collapse. We expand, our volume goes up, our volume goes down. We go quiet, we're out, we're within, right? It's the dance, it's the cosmic orchestration. But then the choice point is, who's telling you who you need to become? Especially when it comes to the Daughter of Swords. There's an intersection or a convergence of truth that meets at this point of singularity that creates a new truth, right? This is almost like a co-creation, a sharing of truths. As two swords come together, we meet at this X, at this point of the eternal presence, and right there is a point or a jump-off point. It's a convergence of timelines. So this might be that there's some, right now in your own life, there's a convergence of timelines that are occurring that's meeting at a point of singularity, right? It's the timelines coming together into one pathway because there's a portal that's opening as a result of these timelines meeting, right? This is almost like, why do we battle the light and the dark when the light and the dark come together to meet at the middle and it opens up a portal of unification, right? The left and the right meeting in the middle, coming into balance. because right there is an intersection point or an opening into a whole nother gateway, into a whole nother world. And as a result, this is why it's really good to embody your truth, because your truth wants to meet with other truths to create new truths. Essentially, what is your reality? Because your truth would be your reality, your belief system, which governs the entire experience. And when you meet with other truths and other realities, it creates new realities. This is how universes are born. That's that togetherness of the unification of flying together. So as you are merging with the realities, right, and you're weaving your thread through your day, and realities meet and merge, and it creates a unified field, right? So two people meet. Two different people meet. They meet in this point of singularity, and it builds a collective field. How does that reality feel to you when you're a part of that field, when you're merging and meeting with those people? I've been doing this recently where I've been meeting with people and I talk, and as we're talking, we're just sitting there, I observe how the reality goes. I observe how the reality goes. How does the reality feel when that happens, right? Hello. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. So right now, right, as you're connecting with other people, how does the reality look and feel while you're with those people? Because, like, yeah, sometimes we're there to clear out things. Sometimes we're there to activate one another and things like that. So it might not always feel glorious, right? But this is about being mindful of when these partnerships are unfolding, right? Coming back to the lovers, as you're stepping into the divine partnerships and you're coming into the build-outs, right? For yourself, how does the reality feel? Because those are the realities we want to begin to, we want those expanded, well, I'll say, I'm not going to say we, because I'm not going to speak on behalf of everyone, unless I'm speaking as we as the all. So we as the all in source consciousness, rather than we of the human and me speaking on behalf of everyone in the world, but we as the unified self want those expansive realities, because that's the integration of that expansion is what creates those beautiful realities, right? Is like, but the question is that what you're indulging in and the people that you're connecting to right now, are they feeling separation or are they feeling expansion? Are they blocking you up or are they opening you up, right? Because we want that opening, but sometimes someone needs to come in to crack that open. So sometimes it might not feel great, might not feel kind, but that's the dissolve, because that's that death and rebirth that wants to come through for ourselves. But let's make sure that we are keeping our eyes on the expansion right now, because that's what we want. We want the glorious tonality of that universal expression to come forward and through for ourselves. Oh, good. Some cards with color. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups, Nine of Wands. So now we're back into that ascension cycle, 8, 9. We're moving back up. But we got Cups and Wands. So we got water and fire coming together. There's something that we need to walk away from. Some sort of past life agreement. Okay, and this is for someone out there. Some past life agreement we need to walk away from to begin to walk on a new staircase. But also, too, the Nine of Wands always speaks of the ripples that we experience on our staircase back to the true essence. So the deeper we get into the core self, we have to shed layers. We shed layers. Each one is an initiation or a bandwidth we pass through to get back to the golden eternal self, right? But right now, there might be some sort of past life agreement that's getting in the way from you being able to, it's like a trickster energy. There's something that's coming up right now. And it's, but see, even though it feels like it's regressive, the patterning is ascending. It's expansive. Yep. Very much so. Empty cup to refill. Yeah. Empty cup to refill. So that's stepping into the unknown, Angel. That's embodying. Once you embody the unknown, you allow yourself to open up to knowing, to new knowing. So there's something that must be unfilled. Something that needs to be dumped out. Purpose, person, place, situation, thing, ideology. Something to let go of to help you to ascend. Because it's actually, this one cup is creating a lot of ripples that you have to navigate. It's like coming through a little bit like gaming like a game. Like one cup can shift the whole thing. There's one thing you need to let go of. And I'm hearing there might be a letter of forgiveness that needs to be written to someone. You might need to write a letter. You might need to communicate something to someone. Now, this letter doesn't need to be shared. This letter can be shared with the sacred ceremony with self, and it can be burned. But there's something you got to give away, let go of. Ooh, yeah. Father of Cups. So for whoever this is for, you might need to forgive your dad. Or the energy of the Father. This might even be Holy Father. This might be an aspect of God. But there's some sort of mature masculine energy, an elder masculine energy that needs to be forgiven. Because see, there's that one cup that needs to get dumped out. For whoever this is, whatever thread or flow of consciousness we're on, there might be this cup that you need to turn over is something regarding your dad. Yeah, Black Swan, that's got a lot of elite stuff. This might be having to forgive the elites. This might be having to forgive things like the controlling oppositional forces that exist here and now. This is kind of coming through as like a little bit of a dark magic tonality. A little bit more of the controlling magic. But either way, this father figure, this representation of father, the archetype of father, is what needs to be let go of. It's like there's a new energy of that wants to come through for us. There's a new energy of the Father that wants to come through. Yeah, see? Ace of Cups and Judgment. There's that new cup. There's that crystalline cup. See, it's a replacement. As we dissolve this cup, yeah, it could be Sun too. Whatever masculine representation is now there's a crystalline cup that wants to take place. And that's the revelation. Right? That's the revelation. That's the divine judgment. It's the illumination that, hey, once you let go of this cup, because this one cup is creating a lot of ripples. Like, it's making the staircase a lot harder than it needs to be. It's the process that you're walking through, whoever this is for, this one cup is getting in the way, and as soon as it empties out, yeah, see, we're coming back to that Holy Grail. It's the divine knowing of what that true father representation is for you in the archetypal functioning, in whatever, right? This is almost like, you see with the dragon scales. This is the energy of the dragon coming through for me. So let's go ahead and clear that one off. So whoever that's for, there's something you got to let go of. With the Father. With the Father. Yeah, that's that return to divine innocence, Angel. That's that return to divine innocence. Because the divine innocence helps to dissolve all. I like that, Danielle. I feel like this is the age of forgiving, the age of Pisces, to go forward in Aquarius, just being played out in our individual lives in respective ways. Yeah, because the way that we hold on to the storyline of that general, so like if we see that as a generalization, right, or like a bandwidth, however it harmonizes with our frequency and the storyline and belief systems that we hold, very much so. And I like that. I like that very broad general awareness. It's like, yeah, we got to let go of the age of Pisces to invite in the age of Aquarius. So it's us having to dump out the age of Pisces to awaken in to the age of Aquarius. And what's interesting about that shift is we go from this governing body outside of us controlling and dictating to us being the internal creator. And a part of that is like, oh crap, I'm the creator, right? And here's what's been popping up for a lot of people I talk to about this, and even myself. What if I create? What if I create? You're always going to create an experience. It's the law of cause and effect. You're going to create something, and there's going to be a return on that creation. But don't block and stop yourself from creating. Just create an experience and trust, right? And I feel like the level of sovereignty that we're being called to embody here and now for some of us feels very unfamiliar. And so as a result, it might feel intimidating. But it's a good thing. This level of sovereignty it truly is a powerful and it's an astounding thing. But as a result, there's I've noticed for myself, new fears coming to the surface. New fears. New quirks, you know, new things that I'm like, whoa, I've never had that fear before. Well, it's because I'm beginning to recognize the creator potential or the magician that exists within me. And now as a result, there's a much level of mindfulness in making sure that the realities I'm building are that are congruent and harmonizing with that are going to bring more joy and heart-centered creation. Yeah, we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. As within, so without, as above, so below. That's the way the energy flows. Right? So as we're stepping into the new levels of creative ability, back to that Beyond Lemuria card, right? That, what was it? Paradigm shift, right? Into pure creative potential is, don't not create for fear of what the creation brings. Just create. And as you run into a creation that you don't like or it's old, just dissolve it. Sorry, let go of it, you know. Clear, cancel, delete. Cross all time, space, time. Right? Because it is about the lesson and the learning and knowing that there is a law of cause and effect. But if we don't live life because of fear of life living us, you know, then we're just in that stagnancy. And about that momentum and motion forward is like the experience itself is going to bring forward things. It's going to bring experience. It's going to bring lessons. That's why we're here as souls. Like, yeah, we're here in the transition. We're here in the shift, right? We're here to awaken and da-da-da-da-da. But like at the end of the day, we're here for soul evolution and growth and to dissolve. And so if we recognize that the experience itself is going to bring forward emotions, it's going to bring forward triggers, it's going to bring forward things like that. Like, we're going to get an opportunity to create in a different way and to stop creating in some old ways. It's requiring shedding so we can integrate. It requires the dissolving, the dissolution of layers of self so we can come back into the integrated I am. Yep. Shut up. Yeah, you're right, Melissa. Yeah, it is the biggest. That's a big one for a lot of people, is knowing your potential, knowing your worth, knowing your value. I see that with many, but there's, you know, there are so many out there, way showers, guides that are really, really, they know their value and they know their worth and they stand at it. But as a result of them knowing their worth, right? As a result of them knowing their worth, some of them might come across like they're egoic or they're cocky. No, they just know their worth. They know where to say no. It's about not being a yes man. So being a yes man is good because it's opportunistic, right? But like being able to say no is also an opportunity for self to be able to put up healthy boundaries, to not just allow everything in. It's the Gandalf energy, thou shalt not cross. Not everything can cross the threshold. Not everything can cross the gate. And so, like, yeah, in the unified unity consciousness self, all is one. But, like, it's also, like, the healthy level of discernment to say, because you know your worth and you know your value, you're not going to let those lesser things in to interact with. Because you're not playing in that game of polarity anymore. Exactly. You care. Yes. But it's about caring with self that you're not going to allow self to neglect or be neglected anymore. That's a part of that knowing that worth. It's self-value, knowing of your beliefs so strong from within that it repels that which does not serve that vibrational bandwidth, but it's also too not allowing certain things in because you actually care about yourself enough. Like, why would you, you know, when you know yourself well enough, you won't invite that thing in to push you around anymore. Yeah, or self-sabotage, right? Thinking you're something more or something less. It's divine perfection based on alignment with where you're at here and now. But gifting yourself opportunity to evolve. And also to not allowing the skin suit or the popsicle suit, right? To tell, because that's another layer of judgment that's coming through right now, is a lot of people perceive one way based upon how it looks, and they're not going within to feel into what is being heard, seen, or felt by the individual, or what the untapped opportunity or potential or gift is within that person. I ran into a lot of people that they look like they've got it all figured out, but they're lost within. And there's a lot of people who look disheveled and broken and they've got it all figured out from within, right? So it's about recognizing that a lot of these realities are backwards because we wrote them in as backwards. So we could reverse the entire thing out, come back to a place of love, and be able to discover what that truth is from within. It's back to that sight and that perception. right? It's not the human eyes, but it's the feeling eyes. Yes. But we need to see us for who we are, Angel. Like, so, like, yeah, I too, at some level, want them to see me for me, but it's like, I have to see me for me before others can see me, for me, as me, by me, with me. Okay. I gotta pee. TMI? No, I'm a human. I gotta pee really bad. We got 80 minutes? Wow. Quantum flow, quantum flow, quantum flow. I see you. The ships are sailing home. Yeah. Yep, it's a big one. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Danielle. I'm thinking about it. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go use the restroom real quick, guys. I will be right back. I can't shut down the camera, but I can turn it around so you can see. Look at that. Blankets. All right. I think I found heaven on earth. It's when you empty your bladder. Hi. Hi, Emma. Yeah, I know it's not good to hold it. But when you release it, you're like, oh. People are like, what? Yes, come on. We can agree that. Talk about a sweet release. Okay, so what should we go to next? Odin in the Nine Realms is here. We could play with Odin in the Nine Realms. Do I want to play with Odin in the Nine Realms? Or do I want to go into, we got Sacred Spirit, Light Seers, OG Rider Waite. What wants to play? I kind of feel like doing Oracle cards, but Sacred Spirit might be a little intense right now. Odin? Okay, we're going to do Odin in the Nine Realms. Okay. Thank you, Angel. I don't know. I'm a little bit... It's such a shift in energy from, like, beyond Lemuria. It's such a switch in energy. But I'm also very much so, there's a lot of, like, Atlantean stuff that's been happening out here. So I'm, like, I wanted to be in a little bit of that, like, Lemurian tonality in the beginning to kind of freshen from all the masculine stuff going on. But we will go Odin. We will go Odin. Odin in the Nine Realms. We'll go Odin. The only thing with Odin, though, what about Founders of Light Seers? Right, yeah. One day I'll make a deck. Actually, I have my light language deck. I'm not going to do that right now, though. The only thing with Odin in the Nine Realms is I have to refer to the book because I don't understand Norse mythology fully. So I know I can intuitively read the cards, but there's something about knowing the runes deep. They had Sedona cards? Oh, that'd be cool. But we'll play with Odin. Russell's been, like, screaming in my ear recently. You need to play with runes more. I know I do. Shout out to Russell. from Rustling Around, and Rob's Tarot, and Everlong Mystic, and Lauren B from Untitled Tarot, and Remy from Miss Remy Healings. It's been a while since I've talked to all of them. Patrick from Ryoka Ruck. I still hop in their lives and say hi, but we've been on our pathways. I probably pinged one of them just by even talking about them. Watch, they're going to show up. Chichen Itza, that's right, Chichen Itza. There's been stuff happening with that, not entirely sure. Okay, so Odin in the Nine Realms. What wants to come through for us in the collective from Odin in the Nine Realms? Ooh, Baldur and Yggdrasil. Baldur and Yggdrasil tree. There's something from our tree of life in our story that wants to come forward. So Baldur was the, I do know this one actually. So Baldur was the, was he the god? No, he was the one that the gods messed with, but he was protected. He was divinely protected and divinely guided until, I think it was Loki defeated Baldur. Loki defeated Baldur with, was it mistletoe? So there's something about right now. Baldur in our Yggdrasil tree is stating that for right now, this is kind of what's coming through. That when we go into our archival records and our archival memories, that we're divinely guided, divinely protected to go into our Yggdrasil tree to be able to retrieve what we need to retrieve. There might be a fear for some of us that like, oh no, if I go into this and I feel this, right, that this experience is going to happen, because sometimes reliving sometimes reliving those things from within, where you might be fearing that like the ghosts of Christmas past will come up and haunt us. But Baldur and Yggdrasil right now are stating that like you're safe to go into your place. Like you are divinely protected and divinely guided to go within and to retrieve that which you need to retrieve as you're rewriting your story right now. Like it's a divinely guarded, divinely guided place. Because there's something that wants to blossom. There's something that wants to blossom through this for you. So if you've had any resistance towards going into your past lives or going within, right, because of circumstance, scenario, or some programming, the energy right now very much so is coming through saying, hey, like, no, you can go in now. You can go within. This is also almost an opening of being able to go, the Akashic Records, yes. So your Yggdrasil tree is your Akashic Records. It's just the Nordic flip on it, basically. Nordic interpretation. You're being given and granted access to go within. And this is because it requires... Sometimes we have holds, right? Like sometimes I've found... And other people have found this. So I've seen Patrick go through this. Russell's gone through this too, where like you're not allowed to go past, or you're not allowed to go future. You just got to be present. There's something opening up saying, hey, no, you can go deep now. Need to know basis. Yeah. There's almost like some gift right now from the elders or the guardians to say, hey, if you want to go back in time and to go through some of your records, you're being granted that access right now. Because there's been a lot of like, I was going through some Nordic stuff for quite a few days. There was a whole Nordic restructuring and magical restructuring, and there was some limitations that were put on. It feels like this is an opening saying, hey, you're opening back up. Like even it was yesterday, I went to a site and the teams came through and unlocked my etheric arms, because they've only unlocked my etheric arms twice since I've been here. One time they only let me have them for 15 minutes and then they closed up my hands again because of some stuff that happened. So it's like almost like your gifts and abilities, you're getting an access point right now, gifted an opportunity to open up at a deeper level. Morgana with Bastet. Yeah, there's a certain access point that's being unlocked right now. But there's something about, because there's some sort of skill, gift, or ability that needs to be acquired from this access. So the reason why this access is opening for whoever this is for is because there's something you need to retrieve from it. There's like a gift or a skill. There's some sort of record that wants to be retrieved. So you're being given access right now. Being given access. It's a golden key or golden gate. Interesting. Golden gate was coming up yesterday. I was talking to Julie, and we were talking about the moon. She was saying we're in this golden gate right now because the moon is between Pleiades and Hyades. And then we're in this golden gate. So right now there's something that's being opened up for you to access because you're there to retrieve it. So if you feel like a timeline, or like even after this you feel like you need to go to sleep and then you wake up and you feel like you're in a different world, it's because you're retrieving something. This also too might be an out-of-body experience for some of you, astral projection. Only for some of you. But yeah, there's you're being granted some sort of access right now. Because there's a cellular code or something arriving. Some spark, some ignition. Being given, you're being granted access. It's our tones, call them seeds, yep. Ooh. Very cool. Yeah. There's some sort of gate that's unlocking. A lot of work with Arcturus happening right now too. That didn't come from me. That came through the pipelines of Miss Julie Dara at Inner Space Healing. But Arcturus has been popping up a lot. And I happen to be wearing purple today. I'm wearing my purple hoodie, so we're rocking the Arcturians. The Arcturians have been coming through a lot with helping with music and dance and sound. Coming back to that toning that Angel was talking about, toning. There's a lot of sound design that comes back to earlier, the sound of the universe. Portal opening, yes, yes. Portal opening, perhaps. 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 Does the Wild Unknown want to talk right now? Or does it want to stay quiet? Wild Unknown's being very quiet right now. Maybe that's all we were supposed to know was about Baldur and the Yggdrasil tree. I don't know if I want to blend Light Seers with... Because, yeah, Light Seers and Odin just... It doesn't make sense to me. Symphony of Spears. So Wild Unknown want to chat? No? Original Writer Wait? I don't know. That deck is kind of bugging me right now. I don't know why. I weave in and out of these decks. Original Writer Wait kind of... I have to put it aside for right now. Do I have a Starseed deck? Kind of. I have Work Your Light, but go back to Lemuria. Lemuria and then Odin and the Nine Realms just don't blend to me. They don't. I like to clarify with Tarot. And the only Tarot I have is Muse, Light Seers, Wild Unknown, and OG Rider Waite. I just don't want to pull out the OG Rider Waite. It needs a break. It needs a break. Okay, so what do we need to see? Maybe it's time for me to ask questions. I love the Muse too. It's just the tonality. It's a softer hue. But you know what? We could, because Baldur came out, and Baldur's got a little bit of a softer tone to it. And I have been working with the Norns, so maybe that's what needs to happen right now. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Muse. Muse, 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 Muse. 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 We'll go into the Muse. So I wanted then to go deeper into this. Where's the runes, Corey? Oh, I don't know. The runes are right here. I don't have a rune deck yet. So I downloaded Russell's rune deck, but I haven't printed it out. I need to get to the library, get a library card, and go print out that deck. So we'll go into the Muse. What do we want to know about There's something that's coming through our personal Yggdrasil tree. There's a code, some sort of retrieval. Now this is going to be, you know, please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Because there's a code that wants to be retrieved, but it's not going to be the same thing for every individual. Yeah, Voices of the Void. Yeah, there's almost like This is almost like having to go into a Voices of the Void, because every time I do a Voices of the Void, some sort of key code unlocks, and then I'm in a whole new reality. But yeah, interesting. It's like right now, Baldur in the Yggdrasil tree right now is like, there's an old, not old, but there's a timeline that like we almost need to step into to activate a new timeline. Like there's something that we need to clear out. So I'm going to go into the muse. Interesting, the muse, which would be Lemuria. The muse. There's something about, yeah, Lemuria. Okay. Ooh. 8 of inspiration. Yeah, see, there's something that we need to, timeline running. And I was hearing this earlier, timeline running. There's some sort of timeline that we're converging into. Because you see how the 2 timelines are coming in and we're kind of like in this flash mode. It's almost like the sun is bringing through some sort of timeline that we're breaking through right now. 10 of materials. It's about unity consciousness. It's about unity consciousness, and it has to do, especially since it's 10 of materials, it has to do with the abundance that we're calling forward as a collective. There's some sort of timeline we have to push through to receive what we need to receive right now. So if you feel like that you're having to push a little bit harder to get to where you want to go, that's why. The Hierophant in reverse, it's almost like there's a human aspect that's getting in the way. Because the Hierophant to me always speaks of the higher self from within. But it almost feels like there's a story, a human storyline that we have to push through. We feel like we have to push through to get to where we need to go. But also, too, maybe you're not listening to your higher self, whoever this is. Maybe the reason why you need to go within right now, why this opening is coming, is so you can turn to your higher self. Maybe you've turned your back on your higher self. And as a result of not listening to your higher knowing, it feels like you got to work a little bit harder to get to where you want to go. It's almost like your higher self is stating right now, hey, I can make this whole journey a lot easier for you. You just need to shut the fuck up and listen, as Angel would say. You just shut up and listen. And I definitely feel this one. I feel this one. Very much so. But with what you're trying to receive, it can be easier. It doesn't have to be so hard. Yeah, see. Say ah. Interesting. Say ah. It's like an examination almost. Say ah. Gotta open up. Gotta open up to receive that guidance, because you don't have to try so hard. Yeah, free riding. So for me, what helps is walking. Hiking's been helping a lot lately. I go on a hike. Yeah, and the Tree of Roses is it's a flourishing abundance that we all can share. Right? It's like it's a share, since especially too it's got all the people around the tree. Right? Like this is a garden that can be shared. It's not a garden just for self, like it's a garden that can be shared, but as a result listening to your higher self's gonna help right now, because you've been leaving your higher self out of the picture, and your higher self's like, yo, I'm the one that can. So when you connect to your higher self or your soul, right, or your like your interdimensional aspect, your oversoul, it wants to get, your universe always wants to get you from point A to point B as fast as it can and as easy as it can. But when we don't listen, it's really about deepening the connection with self. That's why that opening is happening into going into our Yggdrasil tree, because there's another layer of aspect of you, almost a fractal, that adds to the whole picture that's going to help in this. But it's not turning your back on your universe, because your universe hasn't turned your back on you, turned its back on you. But you might feel like you've had to turn your back on your universe because you didn't like what your universe had to say. Whoever this is for, collectively, individually. Yeah, it's about punishment. Ashichi, I'm feeling the heart chakra there. Ugh. Sometimes the messages that we get, we don't like, because it's going to completely obliterate our human ego. Queen of Voices. Queen of Voices. Yeah, this truth might be a little cutting. Queen of Swords, it might feel a little cutting. This is also that Aquarian energy. Queen of Voices, Queen of Swords. Yeah. Okay. So this truth and this clarity, yeah, Maleficent, right? The truth and the clarity that wants to come through for you, you're not gonna like. It's the 8 of voices and the 3 of voices. This is drowning out. It's like, I don't want to hear it. 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 Don't want to hear it. But as soon as you do, right? As soon as you, because look at this energy, right? It's able to part the waters here. It's actually being able to sit with this truth long enough that your strength and your power comes up to completely open up this portal. It's like sitting in the dark just long enough to find the light of day. Because look, she's sitting in this dark, right? But she's got her connection. This is what's important about this card. She might be blind, but she's got her connection. And as she's building this connection, the bandwidth, right? The rays get stronger. But the door hasn't opened, right? Because as soon as she's ready, the doorway opens. And she's holding this doorway open for others. For the 9 of inspiration to walk through. Right? So what this Aquarian feminine energy is saying is, hey guys, like, sit with, which could be a representative of a higher self aspect, is saying, sit with this connection right now. Now, the thing is about when it comes to the higher self, okay, the connection, you might not be able to hear it fully because you see it hasn't been strengthened, but the longer you sit with it, right, the longer you sit with it and the more you let the light in, the stronger the connection's going to get, until all of a sudden that portal or that doorway opens up for you to walk through in this really beautiful energy, transformed. Because look at this. Look at where she's at, right? And look at what she's becoming. This is that alchemy. Yeah, it's beast mode. But it's allowing this Aquarian truth to come through, which might, once again, it might feel cutting, it might hurt. But it's helping to strengthen your connection to your divine from within, so you can open this shit open. And let not only yourself walk through, but let others walk through. It's about allowing in the light of day. But this is coming back to that Sophia tonality. It's sitting in the nothingness to allow the nothingness, or to allow the everything to shine through. So your action to getting that which you want to receive, okay, this shared harvest, this really beautiful harvest, it's not about doing, it's about stopping everything. This is about going into the silence. It's about experiencing the void and feeling the void fully so you can open up. Because it's going to strengthen your connection. Because you see, she's bringing in... First, it starts off as little bandwidths, right? And the longer she sits with it, the stronger the connection gets. The stronger the connection gets, she opens up this portal until she embodies it. So it's about sitting with your higher self long enough, or sitting with the energy of this, which, you know, this is interesting because this energy might even come through as dark, right? But look at the illumination that it provides. Look at the light body. Look at the waves of essence and the creation that expands from her. Look at the gateway. Look at what she embodies. Look at what's behind her. It's like being able to sit at the center point long enough to be able to unlock a new reality and to be able to build that connection. It's about time and silence to build that connection. Time and silence to build that connection. Because the waters are parting. That's what this Queen of Voices is providing, which is very much so, it's almost like the feminine Aquarian energy. This is the teacher, Queen of Swords. But it's that Aquarian energy is coming through to unlock this for all of us. But it's about stepping into the void. It's about stepping into the void, which I really like that. It's about building connection back to your light. To your light. Yeah, Knight of Emotions. Because there's a new spiral that wants to unlock for you. I like this because this is the emotional night. This isn't like the cutting night. There's something really beautiful that flourishes from this. Because normally, when it comes to me seeing knights, especially having a lot of Templar, White Knight from within me on both sides, there's an emotional knight that wants to come forward, which is good. It's not the cutting knight. It's not the really fast-moving knight. This is a really good knight to have. good night. But there's a new level of freedom that wants to unlock. There's a new level of freedom. A new spiral. Whatever comes forward, this accessing point of this and this reclamation of self and your gifts, strengths, and abilities, it's unlocking almost like the golden ratio or a new spiral, a new pathway for yourself, a new level of creation. Yeah, the Fibonacci. It's like this this new level of magic that you're connecting to with self. This is almost like the waters of Lemuria a little bit. Coming back to the Moo, because remember I was saying the Moo's deck? Because now we've got the seahorses, we've got this sea energy. We're back to that Lemurian. We could say Atlantis too, because they were both watery pathways. But this to me is always I guess I put more of a positive spin on Lemuria than I do Atlantis. That's my own thing. But yeah, the nautical shell. You know, with the nautical shell, it might be a new level of travel, but it feels like an energetic travel. It feels like almost like a new vibrational bandwidth to unlock. Now it's a nautical shell, and we're speaking of nautical and traveling and being a sea word or being like the captain of your ship, right? It's almost like there's a new realm that wants to unlock for you, but it's going to make things easier. Because it's not about pushing through, but there are some timelines that need to clear. It's like there is the Yellow Submarine. There is an easier, softer way, but we got to go deep. We've got to go deep into our mess. And that's that opening. That's that welcoming in of safe passageway into your stuff. Is because the deeper you go. See, here we go. Night of Voices now. Taking flight. Because this Night of Voices is good. This isn't that this isn't the cutting night to me. This is the taking flight. It's like we go down into the depths to retrieve our wings so we can take flight. But now that we've got water and air here, those two coming together, it makes me think of almost a freedom of thought. My buddy's outside. I can hear him. It's just funny. It's almost like this is going to propel us into the heavens, especially with Night of Voices. It's going to propel us into the heavens. It's like this is very much so as above, so below energy with air and water. It's like emerging from below and above coming in to activate and to meet in the middle. It's sharing the depth of you and the higher knowing through the form. It's like I see both coming in through the form, the as above, so below. It's like the crystalline architecture of Gaia meeting with the higher dimensional realms coming through in the toroidal field, the expanded toroidal version of you straight through the heart, which is the abundant nature of you and how you can share that with the world. This is almost like sharing the Garden of Eden through you, because you are the Garden of Eden. Yeah, it's the sunlight of the child coming through you in the heart space. There's some sort of child aspect that's been long lost that wants to come to the light. And as a result, this energy is coming in and almost lifting you up and lifting you out of this situation. Because with the Muse of Voices, there's a passageway or a tunnel that you have to walk through. This is almost an initiation. Man, I'm shaking because all the energy and all the coffee I drink today. But there's something about the freedom of the child that wants to come pick you up and out of this landscape. Yeah, Raven the Grave, yeah. Because this is coming through as a Hall of Mirrors or a Hall of Justice, like a Hall of Mirrors, which is a little funhouse topsy-turvy frequency. So you can begin to plant a new garden. It's a garden of the soul, garden of the soil that wants to get built. But it's also, this is a pathway. This is that golden rose pathway. but it requires an unleashing of the child as well. So through this passageway of going within and stabilizing the connection, meaning as above below, is because you're unleashing something of the child from within you. And as a result, this is your ship arriving, because I always see this as a ship, right? Or a portal kind of pulling you through. It's something that punctures the veil, right? And it's like something breaks through the illusion and peeks through. Some sort of cosmic gateway that's gonna take you to this portal of cosmic weaving, which is only gifted to the high priestess. Which I'm curious why the priestess hasn't come out, but usually these kinds of opportunities to see beyond the veil, right? It's only gifted to the priestess. Like, it's a cosmic weave it's a cosmic web you weave that you already weave, but you might not be aware that you've been weaving it. 10 of inspiration. It's the multidimensional you in your creation. It's all the fractals of you coming in to share the journey. That's just the way I'm viewing it right now. Kind of intuitively. Once again, I'm intuitively reading the cards. I'm not taking them quite, but it's like, it's recognizing how you are walking with your multidimensional self, but it's how you're walking with all the fractals of you. Because you've always been walking with all the fractals of you, but you might have not been aware of it. So this is almost like something's coming through to help you. Why you go into your stuff, right? And into the void expression to rebuild the connection is because there's something that wants to be unlocked for you to see. Yeah, put down the weight by share. Exactly. And that's the thing, is that this is coming back to that. This is that no man is an island. That we all walk together. We're all walking the same path. Back to source, back to God, back to the higher self, back to home, back to the frequency of home. But it's also, too, it's very much so about a reclamation of walking with all the fractals of you so you can come back to the unified self. Yeah, because that's the illumination point that's coming through. This is that awakening. It's the hermit, which is usually going within and going without, but this is also coming through as you're never alone. The perception of aloneness is because you can't see how together you are. The perception of loneliness, or the I'm the onlyness and I am the isolation and all that stuff, is because you haven't pierced the veil to quite fully hear, see, feel how together you are with all in this cosmic play and cosmic orchestration. That's why it might feel like you had to do it all to be able to receive this abundance, but it's like, no, we all get there together. You're not doing it alone. We got to do it together. This is like a reclamation of unity consciousness now. It's that, like, yeah, it might feel like there's a struggle to receive everything you need to receive because you've been doing it alone. Back to the partnerships and creation that was happening with the Wild Unknown is like with the Two of Swords. It's the timelines meeting, or you don't have to do this alone. This is almost like a come through at time to ask for help. Calling myself out loud right now. Dang. Gnarly. But it's very much so coming through with, there's people that want to help you, but you got to let them in. You got to let them in. Yeah, 9 of Emotions. It's like these are coming through helping to elevate. Like the 9 of Emotions has all these, she's like she's the chandelier, right? She's the light for others. She's the light for others. But it's almost like, take yourself down as the breadwinner and the trophy and allow yourself to be with the other gifts. It's the merge purge. I like that. Spirit just yelled. It's the merge purge. Yeah, but there's some sort of liftoff or elevation. Like, because all of these connections aren't just human. These are all crystals here. In this, they're actually fish, I believe. I can't really see. Are they fish? No, they're shells and crystals. Right? And it's also knowing that, like, so all these aspects of self that you're walking with on the journey are more than just human. That's why the veil wants to get pierced. Is it's not only we're doing this at a human level, but it's also recognizing the guidance you have around you, the support you have around you. Birds of a feather flock together. Yeah. Interesting. But there's some sort of liftoff or elevation that wants to happen. That's the purge. Because, right, if you see that the way the 10 of inspiration and the 9 of emotions, she's walking, it's grounded, a little bit heavy, and now she's flying. That's that flight. So we don't have to run into it. We can literally levitate to where we're going. But it's the essence of lightness that's going to make things easier. It's almost like dropping the physical body's density. It's going from... It's almost like going from like being like a timeline runner, like someone that's like running timelines and physical exertion, to like it's like you are the entire light ship. Does it make sense? Does that make sense to anyone? I know it's getting darker in here because we're still getting rain, but is anything else want to come through? I feel like the deck went quiet. Yeah. Did you go quiet on me, deck? Yeah, deck went quiet. Deck went quiet. So interesting, guys. Interesting. So there is a call to go within. There's a call to go within right now, because that which we are trying to receive to get our jobs done here on Gaia or whatever, it's like a new way of doing. It's doing from a place of being and recognizing that you being in the void and retrieving these aspects and going within is a doing. Like, it's like a restructuring of the masculine. So rather than like the proving grounds of like, look at me at my 9 to 5 and all my adornments, it's being able to receive by going within, which might feel uncomfortable. I have to do that. I have to do this quite a lot, and I still do things like this where I show up because I'm like, I don't have money for food, or blah, 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 blah. Whatever happens, right? But it's like, it's a new way of doing by being, which ties very much so into the message from the crystalline message earlier. It doesn't matter about what you do, it's how you're being as you're doing. Right? It's what you are being as you're doing, because it's not about what you do, but it's what you're reverberating out as the eternal self that creates the shift and the change. So for some people, it is about what you do, right? It is about what you do, but it's like, for some of us, because I found that even lately, the trajectories and what I'm being called to do in this world isn't what I thought it would be. But it's not because of what I'm doing, it's what I'm being as I'm doing it. Yeah. I'll let you know, Angel. All right. How long have we been on? 116 minutes? Wow, almost 2 hours. Cool. I'm getting tired. Probably gonna go take a nap for a little bit. So thank you, everyone, for coming out. How's everyone doing? How's everyone being? How's everyone feeling? Warming up to the rest of mankind, I heard someone say. Yep. We got it. We got to warm up. Yeah, you're welcome. This was cool. I haven't done live in a while, and I was like, I'm not going to do live when I'm here. But something said just go live today, and it was cool. It was fun. It was exciting. So, but yes, we're alive with the glory of love. Yeah, I do have a PayPal. So the link will be in the description box after this. It's in my other videos. I've got the link in there. Yeah, I normally don't collect. So for Green Goddess, thank you for the donation. I do appreciate you. But yeah, I do have a PayPal. It's paypal.me/foundersoflight. But if you go to, once this is done, I'll upload all my links. I also have Cash and Venmo too. Really do appreciate everyone coming out. So we're gonna smudge off our shukiratai. Smudge the field. Oh, sorry about that, Melissa. So we're just gonna continue smudging, clearing the field. I want to thank you all for coming out, for being a part of this journey and this exploration with me. You know, we just keep weaving. We keep weaving our webs of the universe, and keep showing up and showing out. So yeah, guys, my sessions are open again. Yes, go write your paper. My sessions are open. I'm going to be working on getting my website back up and running. So I have more of a list of everything that I'm doing. But for now, if you guys want a session, if you want a reading or an energy session, there's so many more uploads and downloads I'm doing between working with Seraphim, working with different angelics now. There's Sophia stuff coming through. So I'll have a list of everything. But if you guys are interested in a session, please reach out to foundersoflight@gmail.com. As always, your donations are supporting my journey. They're supporting the food in my belly and supporting my living situation right now. So thank you. Thank you. We're going to keep showing up more and more as we're getting more freedom and we're integrating more of the codes and feeling more comfortable with self. But please, if you guys do feel like you need a session, please reach out. I've also got like these grievance counseling sessions too. So if you feel like you just need to shift some stuff out and have a little discussion, we can help out in many, many, many different ways. I say we because I'm not alone in this, right? So thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we're done with smudging the field. So we're just going to clear out our multidimensional spaces, multidimensional connections, close down all portals, all inorganic pathways. So calling back all fractals of you, all multidimensional aspects, all connections to your oversoul, coming back now. Yes. Thank you all so much for being here. I love you. We're at 2 hours now, so I think I'm going to step off and go back to the highway of heaven and go ship some stuff out. So I love you guys. Much love and respect to everyone out there. Once again, all the links will be in the description box once this is uploaded and done. And with that, we'll see you guys soon. Take care. Take it easy.